They built their walls of numbers clean, with models sharp and graphs serene. Declared the system understood, said everything behaves as it should. The mic stood back, eyes half closed tight, watching traces in the light. A flicker there, a drift, a phase, something lost between the ways. They spoke of bandwidth, gain and spin, of perfect curves and measured plan. But Mike just drew a line in time, said truth don't live in plots that rhyme. He traced a pulse from start to end, where theory bent and could not mend. And in the tale where few would go, he found the thing they didn't know. He heard the noise where others heard none, saw the cracks where systems come undone. Through drift and doubt, through loss and delay, he followed what the signals say. Not what they should, not what they show, but what survives beneath the glow. Mike never chased what he was told, he chased the truth inside the noise. In labs where aging instruments sigh, with drifting clocks and basslines high, he worked with tools that time forgot, and found the answers others not. A flickering scope, a tired display, still whispered things in its own way. Where others saw decay and flaw, Mike saw a deeper kind of law. They asked for proof, he gave them more. Not words, but what the signals bore. A fiber laid across a room, a silent path, a quiet doom. He tuned the phase, aligned the drift, pulled voice from noise, gave shape a lift. And when the room fell cold and still, they saw the weight of unseen will. He heard the noise where others heard none, saw the cracks where systems come undone. Through hidden paths and subtle decay, he found the truth that slips away. Not in the code, not in the plan, but in the space between the span. Mike never trusted what was shown, he trusted what the noise made known. He walked the fields with pulse in hands, and light and time into the land. A GPR against the ground, listening for what won't be found. But echoes came both late and wide, distorted truths that tried to hide. So Mike reshaped the wave itself, not just the reach, but how it felt. Time dispersion kills the truth, he said to skeptics in the room. A wider band don't make it right if you lose form in flight. They looked at charts, he looked at time, that phase that wandered out of line. And when the pulse came back still sharp, he knew he'd play the better part. He heard the noise where others heard none, saw the cracks where systems come undone. Through soil, through air, through glass and steel, he chased what systems won't reveal. Not just the reach, not just the show, but how the hidden echoes flow. Mike never built for what seemed right, he built for truth in broken light. He crossed the sky, the signals ran, clandestine bursts, a fleeting span. No beam to point, no path to see, just time itself as geometry. With distant nodes and clocks aligned, he mapped the unknown in his mind. Cross correlation drew the line, a source revealed through shift in time. Delta to hero will tell you where, not by strength but when it's there. Hyperbolas in silent space, each delay a hidden trace. They said it's gone, too weak, too fast. Mike said then we'll use the past. And when the curves collapsed to one, the hidden voice was finally done. He heard the noise where others heard none, saw the cracks where systems come undone. Through time itself, through glass and strain, he pulled the signal out again. Not where it screamed, but where it bent, in every subtle different scent. Mike never asked if it seemed high, he asked how truth would slip outside. He never chased perfection clean, he worked where systems came apart, where noise was thick and tools were worn. That's where he practiced his quiet art. Not loud, not proud, not seeking praise, just long nights lost in signal haze. Because the world is never still, and every flaw reveals its will. They built new labs, new tools, new gear, but still they called for Mike to hear. Not for what the model said, but for the doubts inside their head. He'd lean in close, adjust the line, and find the flaw in space or time. A missing link, a hidden seam, the thing that breaks the perfectly done. He heard the noise where others heard none, saw the cracks where systems come undone. Through time and down, through glass and strain, he pulled the signal out again. Not what they screamed, but where it bent, in every subtle difference sent, like never asked if it could hide. He asked how truth would slip outside. He never chased perfection clean. He worked where systems came apart, where noise was thick and tools were worn. That's where he practiced as a chart, with distant proud, not seeking praise. Just long nights lost in signal haze, because the world is never still, and every flaw reveals its will. He never chased perfection clean. He worked steam bursts of flame apart, when noise was thick and hard to see. Just where he practiced a slight heart, with distant notes, not seeking praise. Just long nights lost in signal haze, because the world is never still, and every phrase was highly done. They built new labs, new tools you wear, but still they called for Mike to hear. Not for what the model said, but for the doubt hidden trait. He'd set in close, adjust the line, and find the flaw in space or time. A missing link, a hidden seam, the thing that breaks the perfect dream. He heard the noise where others heard none, saw the cracks where systems come undone. Through time itself, through shift and strain, he pulled a signal out to say not what they should, not what it been. In every suds beneath the glow, like never asked if it could hide. He asked how truth inside the noise. See, when your just profess it clean, where systems came us right. Remember Mike, who stood apart. That's worse and deeper than the chart, because they signal always knows. It's just survives beneath the head. We can never change, no, always know. Hidden in the noise.